Well, North Dakota State certainly had their share of big runs in key circumstances last season. None bigger than Adam Cofield's 71-yard touchdown run on 4th and inches at South Dakota State. A.J. Blazek, offensive line coach, kind enough to spend some time with us to talk about that and a couple of other big running plays for NDSU this season. And first of all, A.J., what was being discussed on headset when Matt Entz said, we're going for it here on 4th and inches in a huge spot on the road?
Well, I think, obviously the atmosphere was there. It was a great game. And you get in those headphones, it kind of blocks a lot of that out. The situation coming up, Matt had talked about, hey, 3rd down, let's see where we go. At this point in the game, we've hung the hat on the big guys up front, the run game. Be ready for a 4th down call if it's close enough. And we ended up being, I think it was within inches. And, Matt said, hey, we're going to hang this on our big guys because if we can't get an inch, we don't deserve to win the game anyways. And, you got to see him as a first-time head coach this year. Very smart in when he made those decisions. None of them were careless. We went back and watched a lot of them, and there were some games you're like, whew, but it was stuff he'd thought out. And his preparation going into this, believed that we had the right stuff going on up front at this point in the game. And
to go with the call you did, we were thinking maybe power, maybe QB sneak, something a little safer, more traditional. This was what Tyler Rolk talked to me afterwards was more like vertical zone, right?
Well, it was. It's a situational play, and it was something that we'd worked on for a little bit. And we had kind of put it in the first couple weeks and not gotten to it. And, when you do situational football, it was ready for this. You see Cody Malka's in there, our big sets. And I think everybody saw all the tight ends come out, and half the stadium was in blue, and then half the dang stadium in green and gold. I think both sides thought the A-gap power was coming. And, it was set up for that. When you run big plays in certain situations, you got to look at your tendencies and you got to have some counter punches at times. Well, let's go ahead and let's take a walk through this play. We'll go ahead and start it here. AJ, first of all, just kind of get us into this play formationally, what you're looking to do here. Well, what we've done is we've got heavy set. We wanted him to bring in big guys and really load up inside. And, Christian, the linebacker, is one of the best in the country. They get the motion. They see the fullback coming downhill. And, we know they're ready to meet everybody head on in the A-gap for just a big push contest. And you see the D-line happen to pinch, which we weren't ready for that. It worked out great. And then at the point of attack, we get great vertical movement. You see Big Zach. You got Cody and Cordell double teaming. And I don't care who they're double teaming. If those two get a chance to lift and build a wall, that's the edge we needed set. And then the key to the whole play, as you watch Josh Babbage come across there, was his adjustment because it was a little bit different than we practiced all week. He was cool and calm, and he made a kick out and ended up setting the edge for Lubke before we were able to walk right through it. And so it goes back to having kids being loose and playing confident in those situations because if Babbage wasn't just playing common sense football, it could have been an issue for us. All right, we'll go ahead and take a look at another big play, inside zone. I know you're a big zone guy. That's what you kind of brought to the table here, and this was a big one when you guys started getting downhill against Youngstown State. Do you want to walk us through this one a little bit? Yeah, definitely. I think, when they've run zone well here for years, I know Courtney was a big zone guy. Connor teaches great zone. But something we had done here, we mess with people with motion sometimes, try and get guys' eyes in different places. And, you get our guys, whether it's zone, power, we are going to run off the ball. You hear Tyler all the time, sprint to hit, sprint to hit. And you see Cordell Volson, the right tackle here, comes down in the combo, and Nash Jensen builds a wall. The guy crosses his face late, and Cordell's able to get up in there and square this linebacker up so the safety can't be right. And, once again, another guy that you really notice there at the end is 81, Josh Babbage. Instead of just running by his guy, builds a wall and has an understanding of where this play's going. And it's Katie bar the doors for Kobe up the field. And there's no better look than watching one of your tailbacks scamper into the open field for 75 yards in the end zone. If they're running and people are chasing them, that's a good thing. All right, we have one more clip we're going to kind of get to here. This was in the playoffs against Montana State with Christian Watson, whose speed, I think, was really put on display in this game. You want to take us through this little bit of a reverse end around? Yeah, I think it's one of the plays where, Noah Pauly does a great job putting his guys in the right spots for certain things. And, Christian's a guy whose confidence just grew last year as the season went. Not only his, but the offenses and the coaches with him and his consistency. It's a play. It's off of our power play, and we're just reading guys. Now, you see we spread them out again. And I think that's something Tyler's been able to do really well as an offense is get people spread out so they can't just hunker in the A gaps. And if you watch this slow, those line of scrimmage, those linemen, Dylan comes down and he's clearing his B gap, and then he launches this nose guard. And that way, as Trey reads the edge, we take what the defense gives us. And if they're gonna stay in the box and squeeze Trey, now it opens up Christian for a big run on the perimeter, and then great blocking by, I think it was Cole out there and all the guys that blocked on the perimeter. Those perimeter Rams, as we like to call them. Ultimately, personnel-wise, when you have 3 and 4 really good wide receivers, it makes the O-line's job a heck of a lot better. There's less people to have to block in there because you can't just put one guy on defense. So it's been fun as a staff. And then with this group of kids has been lights out to watch them all take advantage of the opportunities they got, and then therefore buy into each of their different roles.
Well, I appreciate the time, man. And we'll see you hopefully sooner than later.
Always good, buddy. Yeah, the sooner the better. There's no doubt about that.
Take care, man.
Hey, thanks a million.